So we're going to solve these linear systems, but these linear systems have fractions in them. So I've got to make sure I'm able to deal with a fraction. So I'm going to start with A, and I have equation 1 is going to be 1/2 x plus 2/3 y equals 1. And right away, I'm just going to get rid of the fractions. And I'm just going to multiply everything by 6. So I end up with 3x, so 6 divided by 2. This is going to be 12 divided by 3, which is 4y equals 6. So that's going to be my new equation 1. I'm just going to not do this with fractions. So equation 2 is 1 over 4x minus 1 over 3y equals 5 over 2. I'm just going to multiply everything by 12. And that will get rid of the denominator here as well. So I'm going to end up with 12 divided by 4 is 3x. 12 divided by 3 is 4y. And that's equal to 5 times 12 is 60, 60 divided by 2 is 30. So what I've ended up doing is I've converted my fraction problem into a whole number problem by multiplying through by the common denominator. And again, this is an equation, so I'm balancing the equation by multiplying both sides. So I'm just going to take equation 1 and I'm going to add it to equation 2 because already the coefficients match. So I have 4y minus 4y, well, that's a zero pair. Those cancel out. So I end up with 6x is equal to 36. Divide both sides by 6. I end up with x is equal to 6. Now remember that although I solved for x, I haven't solved my system because my system involves two variables. So I need to solve for y. So I'm going to solve for y. I'm going to plug it into one of the two equations. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to arbitrarily plug it into 2. So I get 3 times x. Well, we solved x is 6. Okay, so that 6 here ends up as a 6 here. Okay, because I'm replacing that x. Minus 4y equals 30. Okay, so 18 minus 4y equals 30. Solving for y, subtract 18 from both sides. I get positive 12. Divide by negative 4. The answer is going to be negative. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So there is my solution to that one. Okay, so we can try B as well. B is, I'll do a different color here. Let's do that in black. So B, we're going to set up our two equations. Equation 1, 3 over 4x plus 1/2 y is equal to negative 7 over 12. Okay, so again, this one here, if you want, you could work with the fractions and you can see that these two are easily related. So I can maybe double equation 1 to match the coefficient y on equation 2. But again, if we want to just get rid of the fractions, we can. If I multiply by the lowest common denominator, I'm going to have times 12 divided by 4 is 3. And then I end up with 3 times 3. That gives me 9x. Again, there's lots of ways to do it. You can do 36 divided by 4. Here I'm going to get 12 divided by 2 is 6. That gives me y. And the divide by 12 times by 12 cancels out. So there's my equation 1. My equation 2, I'm just going to get from above here. And again, if I want to get rid of the fraction, I can make this into a whole number problem. I can get rid of that fraction by multiplying out by 3. So I end up with 3x minus 3y is equal to negative 4. So there's my equation 2. So it looks like I can match either x or y. I'm going to match the y variables. So I'm going to take equation 2 and I'm going to multiply it by 2. So I get 6x minus 6y is equal to negative 8. So remember, you have to multiply both sides of the equation. Every term gets multiplied by 2. By doing that, I've now matched the coefficients. So I'm going to cancel out. These are 0 pairs, so they cancel out. I can add those equations together. 15x is equal to negative 15. X is equal to negative 1. So there's one of my solutions. I still need to solve for y. So I'm going to substitute back into one of the equations. I'm going to use this one here because there's just a single y there. That's a nice one to solve for. So when I substitute back into equation 2, I get negative 1 minus y is equal to negative 4 over 3. Okay, so if you're wondering where that negative 1 came from, that was this part here, and I'm using that negative 1. So I end up with y. I'm going to add 1 to both sides. I end up with negative 1/3. That's a negative y, so I have to divide by negative 1. I get positive 1/3. And there's my solution for y. So y is a fraction, and x is that negative integer.